I shop at Goodwill for name brand clothes at bargain prices. Coach, $30.
I shop at Goodwill for one-of-a-kind finds. It's great for decorating on a budget.
I shop at Goodwill because every dollar spent here puts 7 Nevadans to work.
And because we're a nonprofit, there's no sales tax.
So shop.
Shop. It's so good to shop.
Shop and donate today. Pahrumps Goodwill is located in the former Ace Hardware building.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Tonight on News 46, 8 are arrested on Leslie Street. A sex offender is identified by police after an accident. And the former NCSO captain makes a play for sheriff. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Monique Mitchell. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, February 19, 2014. I'm Monique Mitchell for News 46. Well, 8 people have been arrested at one house on Leslie Street.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office Street Crime and General Assignment detectives have been actively searching for a female by the name of Brandy Osterhout, as she had an active parole and probation warrant. Nye County Sheriff's Office Street Crime detectives received information that Osterhout was living at 2121 North Leslie Street. They responded and located several individuals in the front yard of the residence at a vehicle. Samuel Pringle was among them and ran back to the residence and closed the door, according to the report. The remaining individuals on scene were detained. Deputies and detectives secured the residence and observed several individuals through a window, one appearing to be Brandy Osterhout. Detectives and deputies made entry into the residence. Located inside was Samuel Pringle, Brandy Osterhout, Tyler Yorker, Thomas Boring, Benjamin Green, and Diane Lake. During the entry, 2 deputies received minor injuries trying to subdue the suspects as a result of a broken glass in the window of the trailer upon entry. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded and provided aid to both deputies, continued to assist at the scene. During a search, brass knuckles were located in a vehicle in the driveway belonging to Diane Lake, as well as drug paraphernalia. Also in a backpack belonging to Thomas Boring was located drug paraphernalia and several different controlled substances that he possessed without a prescription. Lake was released on scene and charges will be filed through the district attorney's office, according to the report. During a search of the residence, drug paraphernalia was located throughout, where all individuals were in control of. It was determined that Tyler Yorker had a parole and probation hold, Osterhout had a felony parole and probation warrant, and Bornick had a felony warrant. Through the investigation, it was identified that the individuals inside the trailer were non-cooperative because they were aware of Osterhout, Yorker, and Bornick's status and did not want them to be apprehended. They were transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. All 8 suspects were held on various charges, including felony warrant, failure to comply with the court order, harboring a fugitive, and drug paraphernalia. One of them was also under possession of a controlled substance, and the other one under the influence of a controlled substance. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Well, one person was taken into custody after he had a motorcycle accident on Mountain Falls Boulevard.
51-year-old Antonio Romero Grego has been taken into custody by the Nye County Sheriff's Office on the following charges: sex offender failure to register, using information of another to avoid prosecution, and obstruction of a peace officer, as well as miscellaneous traffic offenses. On Sunday, February 16th, the Nye County Sheriff's Office responded to Mountain Falls Boulevard off Highway 160 for a single-vehicle accident. Upon arrival, deputies saw a motorcycle lying on its side on the ground with a male laying next to it covered in dirt. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue also arrived on scene and tended to the medical needs of the rider. Deputies located the rider's wallet and upon checking for a license did not locate one, but did find 2 debit cards with the name Anthony Grego. As Mr. Grego was placed into the ambulance, he gave a name of Galeando with a birth date. While at the hospital, the Nye County Sheriff's Office continued to try to locate the driver information through questions, and a social security number was also given by the person who has now been identified as Anthony Grego. Upon further checks, dispatch was unable to locate any driver's information in any state under the name of Galeando with the birth date given. They did, however, locate a person by the name of Grego with the birth date exactly 3 years off, as well as a social security number with a couple numbers off. Dispatch located an Oregon parole and probation warrant for the suspect, Grego, and the extradition did not reach Nevada. Grego is listed as a wanted predatory sex offender. His criminal record includes rape and sodomy. Oregon parole and probation did give physical identifiers, including a photo and also tattoos and an amputated finger that Grego had. Grego insisted that he be fingerprinted by the deputies, although a half hour later he confessed to his identity. He is being held at the Nye County Sheriff's Office for $150,000 bail. Oregon is currently petitioning the courts to extend the extradition to the state of Nevada. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
And after the break, Marty Saltz discusses preventative mastectomies.
Should men be tested for the breast cancer gene? The story next on Prescription Health.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Albertsons. You're in for something fresh.
Welcome back to News 46. Well, famous actress Angelina Jolie made headlines when she announced she was having a preventative mastectomy after testing positive for a BRCA mutation. It was a story that caught the attention of women everywhere, but women aren't the only ones who are affected by this gene. Marty Saltz explains.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
A year ago, Josh Newby quit his successful job at a .com company to care for his mom, Teresa.
It's a great decision I ever made.
Teresa had stage 4 breast cancer and was in hospice until she passed away. When she was diagnosed, she tested positive for a BRCA gene mutation. She wanted Josh to get the blood test too. His result, also positive.
I thought, wow, I have this gene. I got to take my life a little bit more seriously, probably.
Genetic counselor Kateria Patel says many don't realize men can pass the faulty gene to their daughters and women can pass it on to their sons.
But I do find that it's often like they're not even thinking about the men in the families. We get the same information from our mothers that we do from our fathers in terms of our genes.
Men and women with a BRCA mutation have a 50% chance of passing it on. Women with the mutation are up to 7 times more likely to develop breast cancer and at least 10 times more likely to develop ovarian cancer. The risk is much lower for men. Only 2,240 cases of male breast cancers are diagnosed each year. But men with the mutation are at a higher risk for other types of cancers, including prostate, stomach, pancreatic cancer, and melanoma. The rule of thumb, men should consider testing if they have a strong family history of breast or ovarian cancer. Josh was glad he did.
I do hope to have children someday, and that's very powerful information to have.
Josh has made early cancer screenings a priority. And since his mom's diagnosis, he started a foundation to raise money for cancer research. He wants to give others the chance his mom didn't have.
She's just the most amazing person in the world.
I'm Marty Saltz reporting.
Well, there's currently no standardized guidelines recommended for men, but men from families with a strong history of breast and ovarian cancer should consider getting tested. To learn more about Josh's foundation, log on to majesticfoundation.org. And Deanna O'Donnell gives us an update regarding a 3-vehicle accident that occurred on Highway 160 and Mesquite.
News 46 was contacted what appears to be the Domino's delivery driver that was involved in a 3-vehicle accident at Highway 160 and Mesquite on Monday afternoon. According to the email, this driver has been injured and will not be returning to work for approximately 6 months from injuries incurred as a result of this accident. She also stated that her car was traveling southbound on Highway 160 when the gray SUV made a left-hand turn into her direction of traffic. That is how the accident occurred. News 46 checked with Nevada Highway Patrol Trooper Ray Hubbs, who confirmed that, in fact, the SUV is the one that made the left-hand turn out in front of the black vehicle, which also ended up hitting a 3rd vehicle, which was stopped at the stop sign, ready to enter onto Highway 160. However, this is not the first problem with a vehicle, according to the email from the Domino's delivery driver. She also lost her vehicle last year as a result of a flood. News 46 would like to wish all involved a speedy recovery. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Former Nye County Sheriff Captain Bill Becht is campaigning for the position of sheriff in the upcoming election.
As you know, I retired in September, and I lived in Nye County for 24 years. It's been home the majority of my life, and I needed to come back.
So you retired, you went to Arizona. The race is coming up here. Tell me about what you have to offer to the sheriff's office, what you plan on doing, maybe some things that you'd like to keep the same, some things you'd like to change?
Yeah, there's definitely changes that need to be made. Again, I was hired by Sheriff Davis 24 years ago, and he gave me my first opportunity. Sheriff Liskey gave me plenty of opportunities. I, under his control or direction, implemented the K-9 team, the SWAT team, moved up through the ranks to lieutenant, and then under Sheriff DeMayo, he continued to allow me the opportunities to move up to captain, advance to captain, continue with the K-9 program and the SWAT team and with their successes. And my highlight at that point was to attend the FBI National Academy.
Some of the things that you would like to continue with in the sheriff's office, let's talk about that.
Again, the K-9 program, SWAT team, they're vital. I mean, any modern law enforcement agency really has to have that or have one available to them. You know, the other thing I will continue definitely is women's self-defense program. I started that program again under Sheriff Liskey. Started as one of the main instructors and stayed with it through the entire the course of my career. There was a law where the interest died, the interest waned, and so we didn't have it for several years, and then due to circumstances here in Pahrump with a attack, interest became valid again, and we organized it, and Deputy Don Moore worked on it with me, and we had a good time. Brought in Deputy Daniker, Deputy Trumbull, McCrae, Kakavulius, just a whole list of people to help with the training, right? And volunteered loads of time towards it. Denise Pilkington from Homeland Heroes donated a lot of time, you know. All these things to make it work. You know, it's a very valid, it's a vital program, I think.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the cuts that's happened with the Nye County commissioners. There's been some cutbacks on the sheriff's office. How will all your experience better handle the monies that have to go into the sheriff's office, keeping the deputies on the streets and using the funds wisely?
Well, again, technology, you have to embrace technology. There are certain things that you need to embrace, and technology is one of them. You need to understand we're a modern day world. I'm 52 years old. I've got to live in the world of 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds because they're my culture, or they're the culture today. They're the society. They're the needs I have to address with them. So I have to meet their needs on their levels. As far as dealing with the budget, allocating resources, allocating manpower, better managing manpower as best we can. And the big thing I believe is open communications with the commissioners.
All right, folks, we'll keep it here because we're going to have more local news for you after this break.